is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
To Burrito Miko for the Elgin Coaches Show. My name is Vincent Saylor. Producing tonight is Chris Balvance. Happy to have you here. After a week off, the Elgin Owls still remain obviously 2-0. We'll recap the Hillcrest game, the trip down to Dallas, and then we'll talk a little bit about the upcoming game against Newcastle. Got a great show on tap for you tonight. Got defensive coordinator Jack Baker here with us tonight, and also a couple players will we be able to catch up with a couple seniors from the team as well. So like I said, we'll recap the Hillcrest game. We'll talk about the big game coming up against Newcastle, and we'll also have a special guest here from Burrito Miko that'll tell us a little bit about the show. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. You're watching the Elgin Owl Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Celebrating 10 years. We are the Oklahoma Sports Network.
And we're back here at Burrito Miko for the Elgin Coaches Show. Got a special guest with us, Thomas Finley, who not only plays for the Elgin Owl football team, one of our juniors, but also works here at Burrito Miko. So he's going to tell us a little bit about Burrito Miko and what you can expect if you make it down here to join us any night. So Tommy, obviously you played linebacker and tight end for the football team as well, but also work here and help Miguel out at Burrito Miko. So tell us a little bit about Burrito Miko and some of the specials that are going on, and what some of the patrons that haven't been to Burrito Miko before can look forward to when they come.
All right, so our weekly specials, Monday we have military discount, 10% off with your military if you show your military ID. Tuesday we have a Taco Tuesday special. You get 2 tacos, crispy or soft, with ground beef or shredded chicken with a side of rice and beans. Wednesday you can get 2 build your own burritos, buy one, get one, the second one 50% off. Thursday we have buy one house margarita and get the second one for 1 penny. And then Friday we have a catfish special where you can get catfish with fries, and then Saturday we have buy one short sloppy beer and get the other, or no, all short sloppy beers are for $5. And if you were to come to Burritos Miko, I can guarantee you will enjoy the food.
There we go. Thanks a lot, Tommy. But yeah, I want to thank Miguel for allowing us to host the show here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and all the things that he does for the football program and the school as a whole. Like I said, I know the other day he just fed, I believe, the 7th and 8th grade teams maybe after one of their games as well. So, like I said, was also named one of the sponsors of the year last year for the football team as well. So really want to thank Miguel and his family for everything that they do, and want to thank them for hosting our coaches show here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. So with that said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching Elgin Owl Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
And welcome back to the Elgin Owl Coaches Show here from Burrito Miko. Got a quick correction there. Called Tommy a junior, but he's actually a senior this year. So apologize to Tommy about that. And Denise and Anthony and those guys, they're with us. Like I said, they live across the street from me. I should have known that, but I don't want to see the kid go. So maybe like I said, maybe I'm saying he's a junior because I don't want to see him go. But yeah, we're gonna be back after this break with Jack. Coach, defensive coordinator Jack Baker. We're going to touch on a little bit about the Hillcrest game. Obviously, week off last week, but the game was 2 weeks ago. Had that lightning delay, so obviously had to listen to us and listen to us talk for about an hour or so. Had about an hour lightning delay. Finally got kicked off about 8:45 or so. The game was set to be kicked off at 7:30. Didn't start till about 8:45, and really only got about a half a play in before another lightning delay finished the game about 2 or 3 plays into the second half. The Owls did exactly what we thought they would do. Went down there and took care of business, 47-0 in the one half of play. Caden Belletto was 6 for 9 for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ritzenmeyer continued his touchdown assault with 3 touchdowns. He had 59 yards rushing, had the 1 punt return touchdown as well. So that gives Ritzen 8 touchdowns on the year. Braxton Antuna had another 68 yards on the ground as well. Lucas Young scored his first touchdown of the year with a 17-yard touchdown for Caden Belletto. Lucas's first touchdown of the year in his career, obviously being the first year as a player, as a football player. And then also Casey Meyer had a big game with two rushes for 122 yards. One of them taking him all the way to the end zone. Got a little bit of bragging rights on his brother. Outrushed his brother that game. And then Brody Morrison got off the schneid with another touchdown as well. He had 2 catches for 85 yards. Players of the game, offensive player of the game was Brody Morrison. Defensive player of the game was Philip Pibashi. I'm going to say it right eventually. We got him on tonight, so I'm going to have him say his name for us in Comanche as well. Special teams player of the week with that touchdown was Ritzenmeyer. Sharpen Your Axe Award went to Caleb Adesola. Had a great game on both sides of the ball. Had a good catch at the tight end position and played really well in his defensive position as a sophomore. Like I said, another Adesola coming through the ranks that we're really excited about. And Caleb had a great game as well with that Sharpen Your Axe Award. And then finally, your Rough Rider was C.J. Devine, really stepping in as a senior and doing a great job after some injuries the last couple of years, but doing a great job at that left guard spot and filling in nicely there. So that is your players of the game. Like I said, again, another win, 47-0. That extends the winning streak to 16 games. So that's a big-time winning streak for us here in Elgin, the longest winning streak in school history at this point. So we're really looking forward to hopefully extending that to 17 this week. We're on the road at Newcastle. Going to be a big game against the Racers. Racers are 0-2 on are 1-1 on the season. Lost a tough one to Tuttle week 0, and then in week 1, and then last week in week 2. They're 2-1 now. Okay, sorry about that. Coach Baker's filling me in there. So like I said, then lost one, then beat Blanchard last week. Going to be a very tough football team, probably the best team we have played to date. So it'll be interesting to see how our team can handle that. Like I said, another road trip. Unfortunately, we haven't been back at the Nest. By the time we get back there against Woodward in 2 weeks, it's going to be about a month since we've been at the Nest. So I know you guys are chomping at the bit to get us back at the Nest, and we're ready to get back home as well. But we'll have all the action for you live here on the Oklahoma Sports Network, beginning at 6:30 with our pregame show and kickoff set for 7 against the Newcastle Racers. So looking forward to that game. When we come back on this side of the break, we're going to have defensive coordinator Jack Baker to talk a little bit about the Hillcrest game, what he's seen from his defense so far this year, and what to expect against the Newcastle Racers. You're watching the Elgin Owl Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. here at Burrito Miko for the Elgin Owl Coaches Show. This week, we've got defensive coordinator Jack Baker with us. Coach Baker, we'll touch on the Hillcrest game. I mean, 47-0. Obviously, your defense did a great job in the first half. Giving up, minus 11 yards, I believe it was in the first half. Obviously, came out in the second half, had about 2 or 3 plays, and then another lightning delay got us. Let's talk a little bit about kind of that pregame situation. You know, what did you do with kids in the locker room? How did that affect you guys? Kind of like I said, we were warmed up, we were getting ready to kick off, and then all of a sudden kind of got kicked off the field for the lightning delay. And hour and 15 minutes, we had to kind of waste some time. Kind of talk a little bit about that hour and 15 minutes, kind of what was going on in the locker room, coaches and things like that.
Well, you know, it's a concerning deal because it was already a 3-hour bus ride, you know, as it was, and so just make sure keeping guys focused. Got them in the locker room, and really we just hung out. We were ready to go, just trying to figure out, you know, what was going to go on with it, and then. You know, it was really good to see. You know, I was worried, you know, just how do we come out and how focused are we as a team and are we going to be, you know, disinterested, so to speak, after such a long delay or whatever. And thought our kids came out really well, you know, really impressed, you know, refocused in and got after it. So I was excited about that. So
talk a little bit about your defense performance. Obviously, going into the game, we knew we kind of a little bit outmatched them to a certain degree, but then obviously giving up negative yards, and I don't care who your opponent is at the end of the day, giving up negative yards in that first half. I mean, talk a little bit about what you saw from your defense and what you liked in that game. Yeah,
you know, for sure. We've, you know, outmatched them quite a bit, and we kind of knew that going into it. Really wanted to look at those things we were trying to improve on from week 0 into week 1. You know, there was a lot, you know, a lot left out there where we had to make some improvements and fix some things from week 0 defensively. And we wanted to see how we responded to that next week of practice and how we improved. And, you know, 6 new starters on defense coming into the year, some most turnover we've had, you know, since I've been back. And so, you know, that's what we're really focusing on. You know, did we improve on those things where we felt like we needed to get better skill-wise as a team defensively? I felt like we really did. So regardless, you know, of what yardage they had or scores or not scores or whatever, I wanted to see us get better at the things that we emphasized all week, and I thought we did do that. So.
Now, and who was the flag? Well, we didn't have a black flag bearer this week because we didn't really
run
out of the tunnel. Who was that scheduled to be, I guess? Because, like I said, we didn't run out of the tunnel because they kind of brought us back out and said, hey, you got 10 minutes to warm up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, black flag was Bryce Martin for the Dallas Hillcrest game.
Okay.
You know, had the big pick the week before to stall a MacArthur drive, and thought he played extremely hard that week, and so he carried that flag for us for the Hillcrest game. So
we got Phillip here. Obviously, he's been a starter for the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. He was named Defensive Player of the Week. Talk a little bit about what he means to the defense, and now that he's a senior, kind of some of his leadership style and some of that type of stuff.
Yeah, you know, Phillip's just a tough kid, and that's what's you know, really kind of been a staple since, you know, I've been coaching him. He started out, you know, as a defensive end, and we graduated Andre Crabtree a couple years ago, and we were kind of had a void there at the our strong side outside backer spot, and I thought he was athletic for technique, and so we just moving kids around, and he really took to it, and he's done a good job, and I think got his feet wet and became a really good player a year ago, and is continuing that aspect. You know, Phillip just, you know, is not real loud and he's not real boisterous. He just kind of does his job, and you know, he's one of those kids that you can coach him, and you can coach him hard, and you can get on him or whatever you need to do, and he's going to respond in the right way. And so I think, you know, that he kind of a by example leader there, you know, defensively. Like I can be coached too, just like anybody else. And so, you know, being one of the few returning starters that we bring back on defense, he's got an important role. And, you know, the best thing that he does is he takes care of, you know, his position. He doesn't mess up very much. He knows his alignments. You know, all the little things, alignment, assignment, and things like that. And then he plays extremely hard. And so, you know, it works out good for us.
Good. Offensive player of the game, obviously, you're the defensive coordinator, but it's Brody Morrison. So
yes.
Talk about how much he means to that defense. very rarely do you see a 4-year starter in high school level. You've got a 4-year starter back there at one of those big, important safety spots. Talk about what he means to the defense and the team as a whole.
Yeah, and he was a starter as a freshman playing 2 years of football.
Right,
He's an extremely talented young man, extremely athletic and gifted, fast. I mean, I really think he's underrated when you look at college prospects in the state of Oklahoma. I think he's a huge upside as a college prospect to go play at the next level. I think he doesn't get the notoriety as much as he should. Everybody talk about Elgin, talks about Ritson. Brody's explosive, and you better know where he's at when he's on offense, and then defensively he's just been extremely solid back there. Doesn't get beat over the top much, and he stays in good position, and he's a really, really good tackler. 2 years ago he was like third in the team in tackles, so from the safety spot he'll get downhill in a hurry and mix it up in the run, and he's one of those guys you can play him back over the top, you can bring him down into the box, and you can do a lot of different things with him. So he's an extremely talented kid.
You kind of brought him up during when you were talking about Brody there. Special teams player of the week, Ritson Meyer. I mean, had the punt return, obviously. That kind of got him the special teams player of the week, had the punt return touchdown. But like I said, back playing a little bit more linebacker this year. Like I said, last year kind of used him a lot more on the offensive side of the ball. But this year, he said kind of getting back to his roots on the defensive side of the ball. Talk about, like I said, what he means and just – put in words kind of what he does for the team as a whole.
Well, like I said, when you show up and the lights turn on, at least one person is going to show up ready to go, and that's 34. And I've said that about him for, I get to coach him football, and I get to coach him in wrestling. Yeah. And, when it's time to go, he shows up. And he's a special athlete. He's got a lot of God-given abilities, and he works really well, really hard at it too. So, and he's a tough mentally kid. He doesn't ever hang his head, and he's going to go make the next play. And offense, he believes he's going to score every time he touches the ball, and he wants to score. And defensively, when it's time to go, he's going to go, and he's going to be there. So. Again, just impressive. Everybody knows him. 42 carries in a state championship game a year ago. And
2 games in, he's got a touchdown.
Week 0. I mean, he's went through the gauntlet week 0. Through defense and offense and the amount we put on him, and it's like the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps ticking. So, and we're going to need that a lot from him all year. So.
Next, we're going to talk about Sharpen Your Axe. I mean, Caleb Adasola, what can you say about him? I mean, doing a good job as a sophomore, stepping in, playing a lot. Like I said, playing some on the tight end side. He got a catch on the offensive side of the ball, and then on the defensive side of the ball, stepped in almost, I think, as a starter. Yeah. On the defensive end as a sophomore, and did a really good job there.
Kind of funny. Before the MAC game in week 0, I told him, I said, I've never lost a MAC with Adasola on my team. So.
Still have it.
So, Caleb's just one of those guys, and you just saw it through junior high, and he was going to be a really, really good player. He was a really good freshman player a year ago. He's just, man, he has a motor, and he does all the little things right. He doesn't mess up on alignment. He doesn't mess up on assignment. He knows where he's going, what he's supposed to do, and then he just plays extremely hard on top of that. And you get lined up across from him to block him, and you can ask Cam about it later. Like, you get up, you better be ready to go block him because he's going to go every play. And so he's not the biggest dude out there, but, man, he plays extremely hard. He makes up for it, and I think he's got a pretty bright future in these next 3 years, especially defensively. And if I could stretch him out just a little bit more, we'll get there.
I think he's got some time to grow some more. And then Rough Ride of the Week, like I said, it's an offensive deal there, but CJ Devine, talk about not only CJ, but just you go against those guys every day in practice. That was one of the big concerns potentially coming into the year. You lost 3 starters on that side. You had to replace 3 guys, and you kind of moved some guys. Nobody's really starting in the same position that they were in last year with Hudson and Jackson kind of moving around a little. Talk about what you've seen from that offensive line through camp and through these first 2 weeks as a defensive coach.
Man, I think that group has got potential to be a really good group, and and I think you're seeing marked improvement out of them every day, and as we go, and I have no doubt there's ability there with those guys, and I kind of biased, I guess, but I think we got one of the best O-line coaches in the state, and I promise you they're getting coached, and so I think that group, is pretty good as it is, and I think it's going to continue to get better as the season goes on and we get into district play and get into the playoffs. I think they're going to be ready to roll. Excited about it, really excited about CJ. He's battled through some some tough things the last couple of years. A great kid, and it's just awesome to see him finally being able to get on the field and have some success and do some things. And so I'm really proud of him and really great to see that out of him in particular.
So that kind of puts a bow on the Hillcrest game. I mean, obviously only one half played, 47-0. Did a great job of there, continuing the winning streak to 16-0. Talk a little bit about kind of your defense as a whole in these first 2 weeks, what you've seen from them, and what was kind of worked on in that off week, and some players that have really stepped up and meant a lot to this new defense. Like you said, you got 6 new starters, so you got some different guys out there and things like that. So talk a little bit about what you've seen these first 2 weeks and what we should expect moving forward throughout the season.
Yeah, the thing that we've really been harping on and harping on is we have to become better tacklers, and that's one of the things that's been a staple of our defense the last 3 years. We've really prided ourselves on is being good tacklers, and we felt like we didn't tackle very well week 0. And we felt like we had to improve at that a lot, and I felt like we have, and we're getting better, and it's a work in progress. It's going to be extremely crucial coming up Friday, but I felt like we need to improve on that, and we continue to do so. It's just also it's changing for me, and it's a different group. We look different when you run them out there now, and so it's as a coaching staff, we have to find how to best utilize these pieces and what are the best ways that we can get the most out of them. And so we're doing that as well, staff wise, and so. Moving people around and finding that best fit, and what you saw week 0 is not what you saw last week, and last week what you saw is not what you're going to see this week. It's a work, and we're trying to get the best 11 guys on the field they're going to live by our standard, and I think we're slowly getting there, and our kids are figuring it out and figuring out what we want, and just learning how to practice and prepare, and that's the biggest thing. Been really, proud of these guys and how they've worked. Casey Myers really stepped in there, lose a 3-year starter, and Colin Donnelly that pretty much could have ran that thing himself last year, right. and it's not only that, but it's a new voice for all those guys that are out there. So right. Even the guys that are returning, it's a new voice running things out there, and he had to grow into that role a little bit, and I think he's settling in, doing that. And then obviously, that defensive front it's a little different. A year ago we could have done whatever we wanted to do. We could have played any kind of defense. We could have been 4-2, 3-4, 5-3, right. 3-3 stack, whatever we wanted to do, and we'd have been successful. And so, now it's just finding the best position and the best grouping to get the most out of it, and that's what we've really been focusing on.
Well, the one thing I've been impressed with is kind of the amount of defensive linemen that you're running in now. I mean, last year, like I said, you kind of played maybe 4 to 5, maybe 6 at the most, but so far in these 2 weeks, I mean, we ran in 8 to 9 to 10, it seems like. So, I mean, that only helps. So, like I said, I mean, that'll help with depth. That'll help, if injuries ever come into play and things like that. So, like I said, I mean, that's a good thing to look forward to as well.
Yeah.
We're going to come back. So, that kind of puts a wrap on the Hillcrest game. And we'll come back and talk a little bit Newcastle and a little bit about the off week as well when we come back. You're watching the Elgin Iowa Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. back here at Burrito Miko, where you're watching the Elgin Owl Coaches Show. Got defense coordinator Jack Baker here. Going to talk a little bit about Newcastle, and then also talk a little bit about the off week. Obviously, it's not ideal to have the off week. They're 2 weeks into it, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is with that week 0 game. So, talk a little bit about what we did during that off week to kind of get. Was it kind of fixing what we learned in week 0 and 1, or was it to fully prepare for Newcastle? Kind of talk to our listeners a little bit and viewers a little bit about kind of what that off week looked like.
First off, I'm going to make a plug as we're getting ready to start this new schedule. Is I don't like the bye week, so I would rather just play.
Have that week 0 off?
I'm not. I don't. I like to once we get going to see marked improvement every week, and I say. The best way you evaluate that is through the assessment, which is the game.
Right.
So I didn't like that. But no, bye week was, we use it really, like I think you should. And we got better at skills, We're able to it's not one of those things where you just had to hammer down, prepare for your, where everything is about preparing for the next opponent. We're able to go back and get back into our circuits that we do defensively. And work on our fundamentals. And so we've spent a lot of time on the bye week working on those things and getting better at things that we think make us better football players. And so with a little bit of Newcastle sprinkled in there, but to be honest, it was mainly, let's get better at, fundamentals, blocking, tackling, catching, tackling, tackling. So, yeah.
And I know Coach Wyatt, and I made it up to Newcastle last week, and I was very impressed with the way that they looked against Blanchard. Newcastle now obviously in 5A, kind of an old 4A team that we used to be in our district or whatnot. Obviously B.J. Palmer did not play against us last year. I believe he's back and healthy and should be playing against us this week.
Yep.
What should the offense? What should the listeners understand from the Newcastle offense and what they're going to bring to the table on Friday night?
Extremely talented team. I mean, it's a 5A semifinal team a year ago.
Yeah.
And they return a lot of guys, especially in their skill spots. So we got 2 dynamic tailbacks, 5 and 24, both can go. They'll use them some separately, and they'll use them some both on the field at the same time. And they're athletic and get after it. Quarterback is mobile. Is going to get around. It's not bad. Takes really good control. And then they get some good, solid receivers. And so, and then up front they're big. And they're going to have the size advantage, which is something different to say this year for us. But they're definitely going to have the size advantage, and we're going to have to play really well and play really good technique in what we're trying to do and get after them. But they're going to, they're I don't know. They use a lot of motions and a lot of shifts and different formations, and I think they've been different in every game they've played. They've had something new and something different, so I have no doubt they'll have something new and something different for us coming Friday. So just have to adjust to what we see, get after it, and like I said, very explosive offense. We have to keep them in front of us, tackle well, get to the football, and tackle well. So.
Coach Baker, thanks a ton for joining us. Wish you the best of luck throughout the rest of the season. And always look forward to watching your defenses play on Friday nights. So you're watching the Elgin Owl Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Welcome back to Burrito Miko, where we're here with the Elgin Owl Coaches Show every Tuesday at 6 p.m. during game week. So come on and join us every Tuesday here at Burrito Miko. Enjoy a nice dinner and maybe a couple cocktails, and then watch us do our thing here at the Coaches Show. So I've got 2 seniors here with me, Cam Hollifer and Philip
PBRC.
All right, there we go. Because Billy, my play-by-play guy's got it down now. I'm so used to calling you Peebushy that I'm trying, Philip. I promise. Tell your parents I apologize on the front end, but I'm doing my best to make sure we get that name right. But like I said, thank you guys for coming on the show tonight. I want to talk to you all a little bit about kind of what y'all seen so far in the season. Cam, you stepping in, obviously your first year starter. Did play some last year when Shea got hurt, so you got to play a lot, obviously, in those when he was hurt there. But talk a little bit about the offensive line and what you guys and how it is as a first year starter.
It's nice. It's good that I got some reps last year, but I like that we're really close together and we just work hard and we got a really good coach. We just got to put in that work and we'll win every game.
Cam, I know you're playing right tackle, but also on defense, you're playing a little bit more this year as well. What position are you playing on defense?
They got me playing nose right now.
Okay. How are you liking the defensive side of the ball? I've kind of only known you as an offensive guy so far, but how are you liking playing on the defensive side of the ball as well?
I mean, it's nice to make a tackle or make a sack. I think it's a little bit more physically harder than playing right tackle, but I mean, I'll do anything to help out the team.
There you go. Philip, you're a 2-year starter now, obviously.
Yes,
stepped in last year and did a great job on the outside as a linebacker. Talk a little bit about the difference this year. Kind of, like I said, last year you were kind of the new kid on the block, had a bunch of starters that were coming back. This year you've got 6 new guys that you're kind of having to break into, and you're kind of the old guy on the block, the elder statesman or whatnot. So talk a little bit about kind of the new guys and what you see from those guys and kind of what it's like now being that senior leader.
Yeah, it is a lot different than last year. Last year, I looked up to the seniors. This year, I'm trying to help the new guys learn the defense plays, make sure they know how to do their stuff right. It's a lot different.
A lot different. So, Philip, congratulations. You were named the Defensive Player of the Week, obviously this week, with the win against Newcastle. Talk to the fans a little bit about kind of what was going on in the locker room during that hour and 15-minute break. I mean, what were you guys doing in there? I mean, how were you keeping yourself entertained, but also still focused to obviously go out there and make sure to take care of business?
We were listening to a lot of music. Just sitting down, trying to relax, but stay locked in. Just set up our legs so they stay fresh. Just not get too distracted about waiting so long.
Well, I mean, that's the hard part, obviously. You're ready to go play, then they take you off the field, and y'all think y'all are ready to go play again, then they take you off the field one more time. So, I mean, that's obviously a nerve-wracking experience and whatnot. Cam, I'm going to come back to you. I always ask everybody this question because y'all are student athletes. What's your favorite subject in school?
Can I pick lunch?
Yeah, you can.
I'll pick lunch. I don't really like I mean, I'm fine with going to class, but I like eating, so I'll probably say lunch.
And obviously you're a senior. What's on tap potentially for next year in your future?
Trying to go to Hawaii. That's where my future's at. Hawaii. Trying to go back to the islands.
I hear you. Okay. Philip, kind of same questions for you there. Like I said, what favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject is probably math.
Math?
I enjoyed it.
So, Cam, that's a little bit better than lunch, brother, not going to lie. He does put the student in student athlete.
I don't know.
But Philip, last kind of, like I said, you're also a senior as well. Kind of what are your future plans potentially after this year?
Right now I'm in Votech for electrical.
Okay.
So next year I go back and finish that and then hopefully get employed in electrical and learn my ways up in the ranks for that.
Awesome. Congratulations to you guys again, Philip. Congratulations on being the Defensive Player of the Week. Cam, continue doing a great job as you're doing both on the offensive and defensive line. Look forward to watching you guys play the rest of the season, and good luck against Newcastle.
Appreciate it, man.
You're watching the Elgin Iowa Football Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere. Celebrating 10 years. We are the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Hey, we're back here at on the Elgin Owl Coaches Show for Burrito Miko. You can join us every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Got a special guest tonight, the mayor. Mayor Francois is here with us. Coach, I'm Mayor. I'm so used to saying Coach because that's usually who I'm interviewing. Mayor, how's things going with the city of Elgin, and how's things going in the upcoming year and whatnot?
You know, everybody's talking about the road.
Yeah.
And so hopefully Thursday, Friday this week, they put the final layer on it.
Okay.
The construction crew is going to be around for a month doing, odds and ends. But I think what most people care about is the road surface. So with some luck, Thursday, Friday, they will put the final surface on, put new stripes on. So before the end of football season, you'll be driving on the new road, new stripes, and everything. So we're progressing forward.
Good. Obviously, football in this town means a lot. I mean, obviously, but all of our sports and our band and everything like that is really. We talked about it last year. It's a great time to be an Elgin Owl. Talk about how how everything that's going on in the school system has really helped the city blossom, and how it's almost become an advertisement of itself with the way that everything's progressing. So
one of our great showcases in Elgin is our athletics. Last year I was at a football game, and the Del City Chamber people texted me and said, "Hey, we're at your baseball game." I'm like, "What? You're down here." And so I went over, made my pitch and so forth. But we always talk about again, that's your introduction to Elgin. Is a lot of times coming in Lawton Mac game. We backed up on the interstate about a half a mile.
Right.
Our police officers, Parsons and a few others, jumped out there, cleared the interstate, got everybody in. But again, I think when you get more of those people coming in and they look around, they see the crowd, they see everything, and they're like, hey, let's invest in this town. Again, I think that's how we're going to get the next fast food chain or the next business, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to be somebody in Lawton or somebody in Del City or somewhere else that has the franchise rights to a business and says, hey, let's invest in Elgin.
Sounds great. So obviously outside of the road work and things like that, how's everything else going in the city? I mean, is there anything that's coming that we need to look forward to or anything like that?
So we should see we should see more from the upcoming gas station. They filed their tax paperwork. They've closed on the land. So again, a new gas station's a big deal. Fort Sill Credit Union, they are in the final planning stages before they break ground and start building. And again, another bank, another credit, or our first credit union, that's a big deal to the city of Elgin. Yeah. And so it just it makes us look bigger, and it makes us more investable for the next phase of businesses.
Well, Mayor Francois, thank you a ton for joining us tonight. We're always glad to have you on, and like I said, let's go Owls, huh?
Go Owls!
There we go. You're watching the Elgin Owl Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
Thanks a ton for joining us tonight. Look, we're back here at Burrito Miko with the Elgin Owl Coaches Show. I want to thank Coach Jack Baker. I want to thank Cam and Phillip for joining us as well, and Mayor Francois. Like I said, we've got a big game coming up against Newcastle. Next week we'll be back at the Nest. It's been a month, and I know we just started the season, and we had a great game against Mac, and then we had the long road trip. We had an off week. Now we got another road trip. So we'll be happy to get back in the Nest next week. But we got one, like I said, we'll be starting district play against the Woodward Bombers there. So looking forward to being there. But first, we got to take on Newcastle, a very tough team, one of the toughest opponents we will face throughout the season. So we're looking forward to that one. We'll have everything live as we always do on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Pregame show will start at 6:30, and then we'll kick off there at 7 o'clock. We will be in the elements on top of the press box, so if we have any issues or things like that, please work with us. We'll, like I said, it's live TV, so we will do what we can, but we will be in the elements, and as of now, there might be some weather, so we'll be there loud and proud with our Vincent Saylor State Farm tent as well to kind of keep us out of some of the elements, but we're on top of the press box. So we look forward to bringing you all of that action, as we always do on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Thanks a ton for joining us tonight. For Vincent Saylor and my awesome producer, Chris Stepdaddy Balvance, as always, we'd love for you to join us. And as always, go Owls. Woo!
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.